Now, you've probably heard the stat that 4 in 10 Americans lack enough money to cover a $400 emergency expense. That may be you. I know there was a time in my life that I relied so heavily on credit cards that I would have found it very difficult to come up with that much cash. But what I want you to know is that this is a situation that can be fixed. It can be turned around. Do you need cash for an emergency fund? Do you want to boost your retirement savings? Everyone has a unique situation, but I think this video today will speak to all of those situations. So stay tuned because I've got 6 tips that saved me over $4,000 in just 1 year. And these tips were almost effortless. Now, you may listen to some of these tips and say, hey, look, I have already cut my expenses down to the bone. These tips do not help me. After this list, I've got 6 ways that you can take these tips to the next level. If you've already cut and you need some ideas to cut some more, then stay with me and we'll cover that as well. Okay, so here we go. Now, the biggest saver is listed first, but even the last one on the list saved me almost $200 a year. So pay attention. Number 1 on the list is I took no trips. I stopped traveling for 1 year, and that saved me on average $2,000 in 1 year alone. Anyone that travels can do this for 1 year. You can take 1 year off. Take the money that you would spend on that trip and put it in a savings account. This first move gives you such a big head start, and it's a big confidence booster as well. Now, if you love to travel, I get it. I do as well. Traveling is in my DNA. My father passed that on to me at a very young age. I feel like I was made for traveling. And one day I hope to resume traveling again. And in retirement, I'm hoping I can build out a van and travel cross country in that as well. So when I say cut out traveling, this wasn't an easy cut for me, but for every year you save on this is a huge step closer for you to not only be one paycheck ahead, but it will also provide you with that cushion that you need to have in life. Okay, number 2, I changed my auto insurance to another brand. And in the first year that I did that, I saved $600. Now, I'm not going to mention company names in this video, but I will just say that I moved my auto insurance from a brand that begins with the letter A, and I moved to one that begins with the letter P. And just in that first year alone, I saved $600 doing that. Now, I believe you can be penalized for your loyalty. I was with Company A for almost 15 years. But once I found out I could save almost half on my premiums, I never looked back. Okay, number 3 on the list. I started using a 2% cashback card for most all of my expenses. And in the first year, I earned $540 doing that. Now, I have found that it's easier to have one card to put all of your expenses on. That way you have one due date, one statement to look over, rather than using multiple cards with multiple redemption categories. So I found a 2% card, and I think that's probably the best fit for most people. Now, I go in every month when my statement comes due, and I cash out whatever I've earned for that month in rewards. I cash it out immediately. I have it go straight into my savings account. I don't leave it in there. I mean, there's no sense in the credit card company earning interest off the money when I can earn my own interest by taking it out every month. Now, this really only works as long as you can pay off your full balance every month. It's best to try and get one paycheck ahead, but the most important part is you have to stick to your budget and not overspend. Now, if you're using travel cards, such as airline branded cards or hotel rewards cards. Based on the research that I've done lately, they have devalued their points and their redemption rates so much that it would be better for you to just get a cashback card and use that money for your hotels or your flights rather than using those branded cards that way. But I digress because this video is about saving money, not spending it. But I just wanted to bring that up because I know that we can get in a rut sometimes. And I talked about loyalty in the last point. Sometimes we just get really loyal to the cards that we have or the brands that we use. And we like doing things a certain way and think we're acquiring all of these travel points. But I think just a cashback card would be better in this situation. Okay, number 4, I changed cell phone carriers. I saved $480 in the first year, and I'm still saving $480 a year 4 years later. Okay, I was with one of the big phone carriers, and once again, I had been a loyal customer for almost 20 years, and I'll even admit that I was a little afraid. I had trepidation on changing to another carrier. I was afraid that my coverage wouldn't be great or the data would be slow. I was a little hesitant to want to change. I even told myself it would be a lot of trouble. But now I know that all my fears were unfounded. I switched carriers from the comfort of my home. I went with another carrier that uses the same towers as the previous company I had been with, and that made me feel a little more secure about the coverage aspect of it. And instantly, my bill dropped $40 a month. I only wish I had done it sooner. Number 5, I cut my dining out spending by half. That gave me a savings of $300 a year. Now, I've never been a big spender in regards to restaurants or even fast food. I would eat out 2 to 3 times a week, fast food. And I decided that I could reduce that even further just to save some money. So I allowed myself one day a week to pick up some food, usually on a Friday evening or a Saturday. And after a few weeks of doing it this way, it didn't become a hardship at all. It actually became a habit and I got used to it. I liked knowing that I was saving that much money, and it also created healthier habits for me as well. Okay, so Benji wanted to say hello. I have been meaning to introduce him to you guys. So here's Benji. He had a birthday yesterday, so he turned 1 year old, and he got plenty of toys for his birthday. He's having a good time. So, all right, go play. Yeah. Okay, the final one on the list, number 6. I cut out canned soda. I bought a soda stream, and I saved almost $200 a year doing that. Now, I love pop. When I was younger, I always had a Dr. Pepper in my hand. In my 20s, that's pretty much all I drank from the time I got up to bedtime. A few years ago, I switched to carbonated water instead, and I was buying like the LaCroix and the bubbly and the cans. But I was drinking at least 2 a day, and they're not cheap. But I just crave the carbonation, so I put up with the cost of it for quite a while. But then I decided to buy a SodaStream, try it out, and I'm glad that I did. Because now I'll spend only $15 a month on getting the tank refilled, because now I save over half what I was spending before. Now I love the convenience of it. I can make carbonated water anytime that I want. I don't have all of the trash that I had with buying the cans, and I don't have to go to the store all the time to buy those. So I love the convenience of it. I love the money saving even better. Okay, so that was my list. All of those things save me over $4,000 a year. And most of the things on this list I've been doing for at least 3 years, some even more. So looking back, I can say that I've saved over $12,000 with just doing these things. But wait, now I did tell you that I would give you some next level ideas. If you've already cut back and these tips don't help, I can give you some next level ideas on each of the 6 things that I just listed. But first, I wanted to ask you a favor. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I love doing videos about optimizing your life, your time, and your money. And if you found this video informative and or interesting, I would love for you to hit the like button as well. It helps my growing channel so much, and I appreciate it. Okay, for number 1, if you're already not traveling, you're not taking trips, so you can't save money there, then use your paid time off, use your vacations. You could start a side hustle, whether it's something like pet sitting. You could clean out your clutter, maybe have a garage sale. You could flip furniture, or even cleaning houses. And remember, this is only temporary. There is no law out there that states that in order to be an American, you have to take a big, expansive, fancy trip somewhere once or even twice a year. You can be different and come out ahead. For number 2, if you've already switched auto insurance carriers and you can't save anymore on that one, then maybe look at dropping down to liability coverage only. Do your research though. See if that's even a possibility for your situation. You don't want to do that if you still have a lot of value in your car. Maybe you have a vehicle that is very expensive to own. It's always in the shop, or the gas mileage is poor on it. Maybe looking at trading that vehicle in might be an option, and getting something smaller, a small car, a small crossover that gets great gas mileage. It may even be a lot less to insure a vehicle of that size as well. Okay, for the number 3 tip on my list, if using a cashback credit card doesn't work for your situation, then consider going to a cash only or using your debit card. Just do it for 1 year. It's a well-known fact out there that people tend to spend a lot more when they're using plastic versus when they're using cash. So that could be a great tip for you to take it to the next level. Just retiring your credit cards for 1 year might be all that you need to save some meaningful cash. Okay, for tip number 4, cell phone carriers. Now, when I changed from cell phone carrier to the carrier I'm with right now, I chose a mid-level company, but there are some companies out there that discount even further than the level that I went to. I could probably save half on my bill. Mint Mobile comes to mind. There's also Visible. I think that's a Verizon-owned company. You can get plans with unlimited data for $15 to $30 a month. And I have never heard any complaints with anyone using those companies. Of course, every company is going to have its flaws, but having a cell phone bill for $30 a month with unlimited data, that's a really good deal. For tip number 5, if you feel like you've already cut your dining out spending and you don't want to cut anymore, then maybe look at your grocery spending. There's some really good discount grocers out there. I think there's Aldi, there's Lidl. I know that, some parts of the country have different ones, but find out what brand of discount grocery store that you have in your area, and maybe once a month stock up on supplies. But just remember, we're talking about going to the next level here. If you eat out at restaurants 10 times a month, then try to cut it to 5. And if you find that you can do 5, then cut it in half again. Make each time that you go out to eat more of a special occasion rather than a routine thing. Now, I did another video on ways to save on dining out, and I'm going to link that in the description box below. Okay, and for the 6th tip, if a soda stream doesn't work for you, Take a look at any of the beverages that you drink. Do you spend money on any single serve beverages, whether it's coffee, bottled water, milkshakes, Diet Cokes at McDonald's every afternoon? Cut those out. Buy your sodas in 2-liter bottles. Buy generic brands. Make your own tea at home. Go to the next level and just drink plain tap water. I've even had people tell me how they save even more on their soda streams by installing larger CO2 tanks on them. So there's always ways to take it to the next level. We just have to really think about it sometimes. So there you have it, 6 ways to save for your emergency fund, to boost your retirement savings, to save for a new car, you name it. It's your money. But let me know in the comments, what would you do with an extra $4,000? I would love to hear it. Okay, saving money is important. But you know what is more important? That's protecting your money. And I've got another video you can watch next titled 6 Tips to Protect Your Money, and I'll link it right here. Okay, have a great week. I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.